We tell ourselves a lie, that the loudest person is the strongest, that fury means power. But look closer. How many of your worst decisions were made in calm? And how many were made in heat? Anger promises control. It delivers chaos. It narrows your vision, shortens your breath, and puts your dignity on autopilot. The result isn't strength, it's sloppiness dressed as confidence. This is not a video about being emotionless. This is a field manual for keeping your mind when the world tries to take it. If you want to become the person who can walk into any storm and not lose your center, stay. Today, we're building your Stoic blueprint to end anger and reclaim control. Chapter 1. The Myth of Strong Anger. We've been sold a myth that strong people hit back fast, speak louder, and show teeth. The truth: anyone can explode. It takes no training to be triggered. What does require training? Holding your posture when provoked. Choosing precision when your emotions demand speed. Sparing your future self from cleaning up today's mess. Picture two leaders in a meeting. One slams the table and gets silence. The other speaks softly and gets agreement. Which one is obeyed, and which one is respected? Respect is the quiet currency of real strength. Anger can demand compliance. Calm earns trust. Twist: anger feels decisive because it reduces options. Calm is decisive because it evaluates options. Practice prompt. Next time you feel heat, ask, what story did I attach to this? Is there a second interpretation that costs me less? Anatomy. Spark. A comment, a tone, a delay, a disrespect. Story. Your mind labels it. Unfair. They always do this. I must respond now. Surge. Your body. Bloods, heat in the chest, tight jaw, shallow breath. Spill. Words leave faster than thought. You hear them with everyone else. Aftermath. The original problem is now bigger. Trust is smaller. You can't prevent sparks. You can rewrite stories. When you change the story, you change the surge. When you change the surge, there's nothing left to spill. The point is to choose who speaks, your values or your reflex. Most people run past it. The Stoic trains to live there. Your gap can be one breath, one count of 3, one sip of water, one glance at your notes, tiny rituals that buy you a second. So reason can catch up to adrenaline. Micro rituals to install today. Hand on the table, plus slow inhale through the nose. Count 4, exhale 6. Eyes to the floor for 1 heartbeat, then back to the person. I'll need a moment to think about that. Neutral tone, neutral face. Write 1 word before speaking. Any word. The pen slows the mouth. The point isn't to pretend you aren't heated. You're not denying reality. You're choosing the version of reality that keeps you intelligent. Call a delay disrespect. You'll feel rage. Call it data. You'll feel curiosity. Reframe patterns. They're attacking me. They're struggling with their own emotion. This can't happen. This is happening. What's my best move? I must win. I must remain useful. They made me angry. I chose a story that made me angry. Quick tool. The 3 R's register the sensation: heat, tightness, speed. Rename the story. I'm telling myself, this is personal. Refocus the goal. My aim is outcome, not ego. Your nervous system learns what you repeat. The storm passes. The climate stays. If you introduce yourself to yourself as hot-headed, you've already handed anger a key. Try this instead. I'm a calm person who sometimes feels heat. Identity leads behavior. Behavior rewires identity. That loop can trap you or free you. Identity statements to rehearse daily. I do not negotiate my composure. My tone is my choice. I answer to my standards, not their volume. Chapter 6. Pre-commitments beat temptation. The most dangerous moment is not the outburst, it's the half-second before it. Make decisions before you need them. Pre-commitments to write down and keep visible. If someone raises their voice, I lower mine. If I'm interrupted, I say, let me finish this thought. Then I'm all yours. If the conversation heats, I suggest a 5-minute recess. If I feel baited online, I draft a reply, wait 10 minutes, then delete 90% of it. Pre-commitments convert ideals into defaults. You shouldn't be improvising your character in a fire. Chapter 7. Field tactics for real life. In a meeting, sit back 2 cm. Roll your shoulders once. Slow your breath. Ask clarifying questions before conclusions. Can you walk me through your reasoning? Restate neutrally. So your concern is X. Here's my perspective on Y. Summarize plus propose. 2 paths I see are A or B. Which serves the goal best? With family, replace you always. With when X happens, I feel Y. Can we try Z? Schedule conflict. This matters. I want to discuss at 7 p.m. when we both have space. Use touch, gesture to signal good faith. Open palms, nods, softer eyes. Online. Never argue in public what you wouldn't discuss in private. Ask yourself, will I care about this in 30 days? Type it. Don't send it. Reread after a glass of water. Then choose silence. With yourself. Walk until the story changes. Cold water on wrists. 10 deep exhales. 1 page of anger brain dump. Then 1 paragraph of wise response. Chapter 8. Silence as a skill, not a retreat. Silence isn't surrender. It's selection. Silence says, I will not spend my words where they earn no return. When silence serves you best. When the other person wants theater, not resolution. When your argument would be for the audience, not the outcome. When your nervous system is too fast for your standards. Silent power moves. Let a question hang. People will often reveal more to fill the space. Count your breaths while they speak. Your face stays neutral. Your standards stay active. Close the loop without escalation. I've heard your view. Here's mine. I'll act accordingly. Remember, silence without posture is avoidance. Silence with posture is authority. Chapter 9. Redefining power. From dominance to direction. Dominance is about them. Direction is about you. Dominance needs an opponent. Direction needs a purpose. Ask better questions. Not, how do I win this moment? But, how do I protect the mission? Not, how do I fix them? But, how do I lead me? True power is the ability to keep your original priorities under emotional pressure. If anger can knock those priorities out of your hand, the anger isn't your power, it's your master. Chapter 10. Boundaries that don't bark. You don't need a raised voice to raise a boundary. Boundary sentences to memorize. I'm not willing to be spoken to like that. We can continue when the tone is respectful. I want a good outcome. I'll rejoin after a short break. That's not accurate. Here's the data. No. Complete sentence. Delivered calmly. Repeated if necessary. A boundary shouted is a boundary negotiated. A boundary spoken clearly and enforced consistently is a boundary respected. Chapter 11. Anger, shame, and the clean exit. Sometimes you will fail. You'll say too much, too sharp, too soon. Don't let shame become your second mistake. The clean exit protocol. Own your peace, specifically. I raised my voice. That wasn't useful. Name the standard. I aim to be precise, not loud. State the next step. Let's reset. Here's what I propose. Clean exits turn failures into reps. You didn't betray your identity. You trained it. Calm isn't found. It's made. 3 drills, 10 minutes total. Morning priming, 3 minutes. Close eyes, slow breathing. Visualize the one hardest conversation you might face today. Watch yourself handle it with measured tone and clear sentences. Paper audit, 4 minutes. Write. Where did I lose composure yesterday? What was the story? What's a cheaper story? 1 line each. Evening margin, 3 minutes. Stand outside or by an open window. Name 5 things you see, 4 you hear, 3 you feel. Anchor your nervous system to the present. Chapter 13. The hidden cost of winning. Many people win arguments and lose the room. They leave with the last word and a smaller life. Ask yourself, did I protect the relationship I may need tomorrow? Did I protect my standards for who I am under pressure? Did I protect the mission that made this conversation necessary? When you trade any of those for the thrill of a verbal knockout, the bill arrives later. Lost trust, lost access, lost influence, satisfying payoff. The win is not their silence. The win is your unchanged standards. Chapter 14. Forgiveness without forgetting. Forgiveness isn't pretending it didn't happen. It's refusing to relive it. You forgive to stop subsidizing the past with today's energy. You don't have to re-enter unsafe rooms to prove you've healed. You can forgive privately and set boundaries publicly. Formula to practice. I release the replay. I keep the lesson. I move with standards. Calm isn't naive. Calm is expensive and worth every practice rep. Chapter 15, Training Your Environment. Your calm becomes contagious too. Curate your feeds. Unfollow chaos. Put your phone in another room for the first and last 30 minutes of your day. Design calm cues in your spaces. A clear desk, a visible note card with your 3 identity statements, a glass of water within reach. Share your standards with your circle. I don't argue when voices are raised. I'll step away and rejoin. People learn your rules by testing them. Enforce them kindly, every time. You're not just managing anger. You're raising the culture around you. Chapter 16. When you have to be firm. Calm does not mean compliant. Sometimes the most composed move is the hardest line. Composed firmness examples. Know that deadline isn't realistic. Here's a feasible timeline. I won't continue this conversation if accusations continue. I'm available tomorrow at 10. That crosses my boundary. If it happens again, I'll remove myself from the project. Notice the mechanics. Short sentences, neutral tone, clear consequence. Rage creates drama. Calm creates decisions. Chapter 17. The long game of self-command. Anger is a sprinter. Calm is a marathoner. Which one do you want to build a life with? Every rep counts. The slightly softer reply. The breath you bought. The message you didn't send at 1 a.m. The meeting you guided with one clarifying question instead of a speech. 10 years of those reps will build someone unrecognizable, in the best way. The person people call when things are delicate. The one trusted to walk into fires and walk out with solutions. That person isn't magic. That person is trained. At the end of 30 days, your trigger profile will look the same, but your behavior won't. That's victory. Daily, 10 to 15 minutes. Breathe, plus. Visualize 3 mine. See the trigger, see the pause, see the precise sentence you'll use. Write 1 line. Today, I will not negotiate my composure. Evening the fridge. 3 moments of calm you kept, 3 phrases that helped, 3 improvements for tomorrow. Weekly, 45 versus 60 minutes. No input walk, 20-30 min. Boundary rehearsal out loud, or 10 minutes kong. Difficult conversation, role play with a friend or alone, 10-15 min. Rules. No arguing by text. No major replies when your heart's above normal pace. 10-minute rule for online heat. Draft, delay, delete, 90%. Let's be honest. Anger will visit you again. The question is simple. Will it find a host or a doorman? You now have a blueprint. The gap, the reframe, the identity, the pre-commitments, the tactics, the drills, the protocol. This isn't about never feeling heat. It's about refusing to crown it king. Real power is not domination. Real power is direction. And the person who can hold direction, under pressure, under insult, under noise, wins the only game that matters. the game of leading yourself. So here's your last rep for today. Take one calm breath. Decide one standard you won't negotiate, and carry it into your next conversation like armor. Calm is a superpower. And starting now, it's yours.